Hello everyone, my name's Nicole and this is
Edward's here. It's great to be here.
great. So Edward and I are here to launch a Dream Self to Self conversation video series on LinkedIn. And it is a pleasure for me to have Ed. Ed and I met about 3-4 months ago at WeWork, which has a great community of freelancers and entrepreneurs. And we've been talking about a book that resonated with me so much. It's inspired a great deal of business ideas for me. So this book is called Designing Your Life, and the subtitle is How to Build a Well-Lived, Joyful Life. And through different, career paths I've taken, this book is by far the best. I would really recommend it to anybody. It is written by 2 designers and educators at Stanford, Bill Burnett and Dave Evans. And it's just a fantastic book. I guess what I find most interesting in the book is it talks about 2 kinds of people. There are people who know exactly what they want to do when they are fairly young. And there are people who really go through life exploring and trialing and trial and error. So I definitely feel that I belong to the second category, and until I read the book I really believed there was something wrong with me, that I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do early on. So Ed and I, we both went through sort of twists and turns in our careers. What do you think of having the 2 kinds, like that people have these 2 kind of experiences in finding careers that suit them?
I think it's an interesting model because I consider myself category 1. However, there's a big but to it. I thought I knew what I wanted to do. But when I achieved it, I realised it wasn't what I wanted to do, or something externally would happen that would sort of end that career path. Right? So I had a different kind of experience. So I'll give you this answer.
Yeah.
I was probably character 2 for a while, but once I decided to become a coach, mentor, and educator, that's when I fit completely in a type 2. That regardless of what happens, this is what I want to do.
That's great. So I think what is the most interesting idea from the book is that for people who are seeking to create and find a fulfilling career for themselves, it's really important, and that they are exploring and going through trial and error. It is so important that they prototype the ideas that they have about their careers and their livelihoods. And so this is where I got the idea of the Dream Self conversations. So in the book it talks about a prototype conversation that you will have with somebody who is living and breathing your dream self, in a sense. So having those conversations really saves time, money, and a lot of years of working really hard and not feeling happy about things. So I think prototyping is a very interesting idea because it is what entrepreneurs sort of live and breathe when they try to create a product. And Ed, here you work with so many entrepreneurs and people in business. What do you think would be your description of the prototyping and validation process, and how important you think it is for people that are exploring possibilities?
I think prototyping and validation is a critical process that I think very few entrepreneurs don't actually do. Very few little do it. I think entrepreneurs, and me included, more approach it organically. So like, you might talk to this person, talk to that person, test this idea, but eventually you take the plunge, and then you go into it, and then you might pivot, change this, change that. So I think prototyping is something that's done without entrepreneurs realising it in a very organic, convoluted sort of manner.
Yeah, so I think in the book there are anecdotes that effectively it's still worth doing. It's in fact very worthwhile doing, but not a lot of people do it often enough and well enough. And it is effectively very important because it helps de-risk your journey going forward. So I would like to apply the idea of the prototype conversation from the book to talking to Ed about, let's say, one of my dream careers is to become a master coach. Now, what the book recommends is that you absolutely want to talk to somebody who is living and breathing as a master coach. And then one of the first questions you would ask is, how on earth, because you obviously have previous careers, how on earth did you come to the realization that you wanted to become a coach?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I kind of realised I wanted to be in business as a coach in my early 30s. But what was interesting is that I realised I've been coaching people my whole life without actually knowing it.
Right.
So regardless of wherever I worked, wherever I was, I would always get promoted, right?
Okay.
Now, two types of promotions. Sometimes it would be like a formal promotion, like here's your role, here's more money.
Right.
But quite often, even if I never got officially promoted, I'd always be a senior worker.
Right.
Right. So let's say, I'll use an example. I once worked at Woolworths a long time ago. Very, like, I'm talking my teens, right?
Right.
And what would happen was I was just a worker, but I'd always be training new people. They'd always bring new people in and say, Ed, train such and such. So I was just literally like,
I can imagine.
I think it was just like a $12. I think it was just a $12 an hour worker. No, it's like $11.50 or something. No, it was like $9.70. It was terrible, right? It was terrible. It was really low. It'll be, Ed, can you train such and such? Sure. So what I actually realised, I was actually coaching people, and it wasn't until my early 30s that I realised I've actually been doing this my whole life, and I've got a natural enjoyment of it. But when I understood I could actually make a business and a life out of it, I'm like, I'm in. Count me in. This is awesome.
That's great. I think one of the key ideas I find from the book that's interesting is you really want to capture moments that you enjoy doing something. As in, what matters is not the logic and sort of, whether you have a skill in a particular thing at the time. It's more about how you feel about doing a particular thing. So I think what you said about that you've always had a natural enjoyment.
Yes.
I think that is just so important to capture in order to find something that you truly find fulfilling to do. So I guess one of the interesting questions to ask is whether you have ever changed your mind. I think we were talking about pivoting and stuff. You've been a master coach for almost 10 years now, right? Has there been times where you kind of, really doubted whether it was the right path for you?
Oh, of course. And it's easy to have those doubts when things aren't going your way. Right? But I'll give you this answer. So, yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I'm an influencer and a speaker and all that.
Yeah.
However, I'm still a coach and speaker and I help people, right? However, I've actually pivoted in the way that I'm doing it immensely.
Right.
So, high level, I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Detail level, it's totally different, right? So, for example, recently I took up on LinkedIn.
Right.
I now do videos. I now have my online program.
Yeah.
It's quite different than me just being a one-on-one online, a one-on-one face-to-face character. So the form of what I'm doing has drastically changed.
Awesome. Then I think typically in exploring our options, a great question to ask is what would be something that you experience every day, or a master coach would go through every day as living this career, that most people wouldn't obviously expect, and it's a bit of a challenge to be in that role.
Absolutely. What can be a challenge is that you can get a phone call at any time, right? And they can be positive phone calls or quite detailed phone calls. Like, you get a phone call at any time saying, Ed, I've been following you on LinkedIn or whatever, and I want to hire you and give you all this money, right? And equally, you can get a phone call from someone crying, breaking down, reaching out to you in that tender moment. I've had that whole experience. I've had literally someone ring me up and say, hi, Ed, I want to hire you and here's all this money. Awesome, God bless. Then immediately afterwards, someone sobbing into the phone. Oh, Ed. And
Crisis management.
Yeah, but the extremes of emotion. Like, you'll be like here, then all of a sudden you're dealing with this moment here. Then you're back up here. Then you're back up here. And talking more business, you can have... I had this before on one day. I had a few people finish up with me that day, and I was like, oh, bummed out. Then I had twice as many start with me the day after.
Wow.
So you have this emotional journey, which and a lot of people feel that it's not just an Edwards ear experience. As a coach, you can have a very much emotional journey that you go through.
Wow.
And that can be hard, going from low, high,
Yeah.
sometimes multiple times in a day.
Right.
Just boom, 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 and you have to.
Yeah, so you take on the emotion emotional journey of others as well as your own business.
Exactly.
Right. And I think the last question I would like to ask is, obviously we're speaking to entrepreneurs and freelancers here, and I know that we are all, working and having wanting to create our own vision for the world, and then it's a great thing to do. But at the same time, there are bad days, and
believe me, I know. There is no one that knows bad days better than I do. I've had more bad days than anyone watching this.
We're all surprised to hear that, because we all think ourselves have more bad days.
No, mine are worse. You included.
Tips,
there is
please.
no one here
Right.
who has as many bad days in their life as I have. I guarantee you. No one in the world.
I know that you talked about you were almost homeless about 10 years ago before you started.
Yeah. I wasn't almost homeless. I was homeless over 10 years ago.
Right. Look, I think what I would love in the conversations I have with people is some, I guess, insights you share about how to overcome those moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do mean that in jest. I just want to respect people's experiences.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, I say that in satire.
Right.
There are absolutely people who've been through way worse than I have, right? And I just want to acknowledge that satire I made. However, this is the key thing. What's important is it's how you feel in that moment. And the thing is, whether you're at the depths of depression or the height of euphoria, which can happen a lot, especially in a place like Sydney, right?
Yeah.
It's very important that you stay grounded at all times and you really stick to your purpose. And to me, it's very important. So be it you're feeling bad, you're feeling good, your purpose doesn't change. Your values don't change. And to me, you got to have your values and your purpose. That's your anchor that keeps you on track. So if you're having a bad day, you cling to that purpose to drive you, to keep you going forward. If you're having a good day and you're going off doing crazy, insane stuff, the purpose grounds you.
Yeah.
So I think the purpose lifts you up or it grounds you, but ultimately it's that experience to keep you focused.
That's amazing. So I think for me, what I've realized also is that I love watching interviews. So in those moments, for me, the way I think about things is one of my favorite interviews is 1+1 on the ABC with Tim Cahill, and he's a star soccer player in Australia, and he effectively says to him, in sports, many people ride ups and downs, but for him, he sees all his successes and failures as the same thing. He does not differentiate successes
I like that.
and failures.
I love that viewpoint.
Yeah, so basically soccer,
Take
he
that viewpoint.
committed to soccer,
Yeah.
and then he embraces everything about it. So I find that to be incredibly empowering, and also just truthful. So with that, we're gonna close our first episode. Thank you so much for watching, and happy designing your life.